What's going on, my broskiis? My name is TheLordShiro, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And there really isn't a lot going on in Treasure Cruise right now, so what you got here is just some Pipe Rumble content. Going ahead and using the Free Spirit team today, because I know a lot of people recently have been asking what are the best teams in Pipe Rumble. It has been a while since I've actually done an updated kind of Rumble tier list, and honestly, Free Spirit is still one of these teams that you do have to be very cautious of. And look, I will admit that the team that I have, you could definitely make it a lot better if you have a lot of investments. Definitely Roger Rayleigh Gaban, despite the fact I'm not really the biggest fan of that unit in normal content. With investments, Roger Rayleigh Gaban is an extremely threatening character to come up against, especially when you account for the Super Rumble special with investments. Yeah, it definitely wrecks house. And of course, the New Year's Luffy, who I think has been an amazing buff to the Free Spirit squad, mainly just because Free Spirit have always had pretty good defenses and utility, but they haven't had the best damage dealing characters. But New Year's Luffy definitely shifts that. He's one of the best damage dealing characters in the game, just huge damage output. I believe I actually did invest a little bit of level limit break wanted posters into my Monkey D. Luffy. I believe I got him to level 120, so I think it cost 4 wanted posters to do it. Not only just for normal Rumble and normal content, making him stronger, but also for his Grand Party special. Of course, this season, unfortunately, strength characters are nerfed pretty hard, so they're not really going to be good this season, of course, but just in general, he's just a really good character to use in Rumble, and the investments definitely help out. So we're going up against this int team here. Now, while this is not the most optimal int team to go up against, I wouldn't say, Apu doesn't really see that much play. Halloween Law isn't really a super optimal choice. There will be a secondary int team in this video, which is far more optimal and definitely way more scary. So we'll go over to that once we get to it. But I think this is a really good showcase, just showing what this team is capable of doing. And look, I will concede the fact that the bench on this team is extremely busted. And if you're talking a Grand Party sense, you're not going to be able to really run this type of bench. But in normal Rumble, where you don't have to worry about 3 separate teams, having these really overpowered characters on the bench is really what you want to do. Characters like S-Hawk, 6+ Kuma, these are the 2 best units going around in Rumble, honestly, and being able to have them on the bench to come in and do a late game sweep definitely makes a big difference. But of course, if we don't have the bench come on, that's obviously best case scenario as well, because we're here to showcase these Free Spirit characters and what they're capable of doing. Moving on to our secondary squad, this is going to be up against a slasher-focused team. I would say this is a pretty optimal-looking slasher team, I would say. The only real thing is you don't typically see Cracker on a slasher team that much these days, but Cracker is still a really good character to put on the slasher team to make your other characters have a much higher special CT. So this is still a really good showing here of if going up against a really high offensive power threat team in the slashers, which I still concede to be one of the best teams in the game. I don't know if I would have slashers as the overall #1, but they're definitely within the top 3 in terms of best squads to use in Pipe Rumble, mainly just because they've got just all-round good stats. Definitely Zoro and Sanji help a lot with the bulk aspect, and then 10th anniversary Shanks is a really good character as well, providing some really good bulk and some special CT reduction, and also that shield, the shield that he can provide to the squad is just super helpful. And then of course you got the big damage dealers in S-Hawk, Roger and Whitebeard, and then they've also got some pretty good bench characters as well. I mean, in this instance, the opponent is going to be using Raizo and Shinobu, which is a character I still don't actually own yet, but man, that character is really, really good. The fact that it's not only shooter focused, but it's also it is a slasher character, so you can actually use him on this kind of team. And characters such as the Brook, which can help trigger the Zoro and Sanji abilities, Cat Viper, Shiki, there's a ton of units you could potentially use, right? And you see in this instance that because the slashers are incredibly strong in terms of their offensive prowess, obviously a lot of our characters are going to get knocked out pretty quickly. One of the good components of this Free Spirit team, though, is that, you got a character like Otama. Now, I don't know if Otama straight up is going to be an optimal choice in Free Spirit moving forward, but I just love using this character just because very good Rumble ability and consistently providing that healing, making our characters just survive way longer. And that in tandem with the fact that the New Year's Luffy can revive 2 separate times. So having the ability to revive a bunch of times and then Otama can potentially just continuously heal him makes a really big difference for making sure that we can continuously do damage here. And then Roger and Whitebeard being able to launch their special twice definitely causes a bit of issues here. But of course the bench comes in pretty clutch with characters such as 6+ Kuma And also the Brook, just a really nice slasher character, slasher free spirit unit that can help support the rest of the squad. And Mazor, I still really love what he does as well with his really good countering and provoking ability, which can output quite a lot of damage when you really are just kind of not really noticing it, because it can really happen out of the blue, where Zoro can just get some easy knockouts because of his sheer counter. And then finally, this last clip here is going to be up against a pretty optimal looking Int team. This is a really scary one because you've got characters like versus Blackbeard, which is again one of those top level Rumble characters, Nami and Karina as well, even though Nami Karina isn't, you know, going to be working on a lot of teams in terms of synergy. Nami Karina boost all characters with their Rumble ability, and look, if you can fit them on a team, why not use them, right? Because they are legit one of the best characters in Rumble, if not the best character in Rumble. Just the sheer utility you get from them is just crazy. And then of course you've got other characters to worry about on this Int squad. You've got the 10th anniversary Luffy, you've got Int Oiran Yamato, because when that character gets knocked out, she just does a ton of damage. And look, do not disrespect what the New Year's Sabo is doing. This character is severely underrated in Pirate Rumble, and I think you can definitely get caught out by that guy. You know, not only just he does a lot of damage single target, and the special CT buff that he provides as well, which can really help you, because some characters will have those abilities where they provide special CT for a short period of time, and then by the time that can expire, you can have Sabo come in with his special to provide further CT to your characters, kind of keeping that cycle going to make sure you're launching as many specials as possible. We find ourselves on the back foot very early on in this game, especially because Int Luffy on the opposing side has the really pesky special, which can force out some free spirit characters. So in this instance here, he was actually forcing out the Nami Karina and the Mazor. However, that was actually a blessing in disguise, because the opponents, Nami and Karina, are actually able to launch, and because those characters are forced out, they are unable to be hit by the Nami and Karina special reverse, and they actually still charge their specials while they're forced out. So that means these characters will come back, their specials are good to go, and that can give us a really nice advantage. So despite the fact that force out can really be a game-changing mechanic, it can also work out in your favor as well if you're inflicted with it. So luckily for us, it works out for us against this Int opponent. But overall, the Free Spirit team is definitely one to look out for in Pirate Rumble. Still going to be one of the top level teams in Pirate Rumble. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the Free Spirit squad down below in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.